Hey guys, today we're going to look at the cracks in our armor. The cracks in our armor. This is a post on my blog at ashleydwill.wordpress.com. And if you want to go there and read it, if that would be easier for you. But this is the next video the Lord is having me to do. Okay, so we are soldiers in the Lord. Whether you know it or not, you are a soldier. Did you know that you're a soldier? You are. And we have armor that we've been given that we're to put on and that we're to wear. But in spite of our armor, there are other ways that the enemy can get in and mess with us. And that's what this video is about. It's about the cracks in our armor, the cracks that we don't see, that we don't notice, that we're not aware of, and we wonder why and how he can keep messing with me like this. What's wrong? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Okay, so Ephesians 6:11 tells us to put on the full armor of God. Why? So that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. He's always scheming against us. He's always planning things to try to trip us up and distract us and minimize our effectiveness for the kingdom. So, but if you put your armor on, then how can you still be having issues? Doesn't make sense. Well, that's what this video is about. So these are concealed places. They're cracks in your armor. They're concealed and you don't notice them. But there are cracks in your armor. And these are the places where the enemy has private access to your soul. Notwithstanding how the Lord uses him as an instrument to conform us to the image of Christ. But these are just the cracks in our armor. Where he triggers us, where he ambushes us, where he gets a hold on us and just about drives us crazy. So what are the cracks in the armor? What do they comprise? Well, Ephesians 6:11 tells us to put on the full armor. So the cracks in your armor are actually lies that you believe. Lies you believe. Did you know that you believe lies? We all believe lies. We are in a world filled with lies, and we have been learning and internalizing and believing lies ever since we can remember, or even before that. So, but we have to talk about the lies because that's the context of the cracks in the armor, okay? As the original liar and father of all lies, the enemy has access to every area inside us where we are in agreement with him. Wherever we believe a lie, he dominates there. And, mind you, believing a lie in some cases can make us his personal assistant in that area. Does that make you sick? Now let's look at John 14:30. Here, Christ said, "I will no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world is coming. He has no claim on me." We really need to look at that and understand what that means. He has no claim on me. There are other ways to express that idea. Some of the versions say he has, the one I just read says he has no claim on me. There's some that say he has nothing in me, no hold on me, and no power over me. So all of this terminology is saying the same thing. What is it saying? It is saying that there is something that you have in common with Satan. And that commonality is the lie that you believe. So does that make sense? So let's look at that a little bit more. Let's just think about this. Okay, the enemy, fallen Lucifer, is the accuser, Satan. He is the father of lies. So if we look at this word, he's the father of lies. He's the father of all lies in the entire universe. Inside you, outside you, in the media, in the politics, in all this stuff. He is the father of all of those lies. So do you see this fatherhood over the lies? He has fatherhood over all the lies. He's the father. He's the originator of the lies. He started the whole thing. So wherever those lies are in the universe, that is his territory. That is his territory. In the spirit realm, he has a legal right to be there, to abide there, to hang out there, to harass there, to coerce there, to tempt there, to do whatever he wants, because that's his territory, because he's the father of lies. Whereas the Heavenly Father is the Father of truth. Jesus Christ said, I am the truth, right? So I want you to see this ownership and this fatherhood of the lies. That's very important. Once you see that, you will not hold on to the lies that you've internalized so easily. Okay, so let's also look at this again, John 14:30, where he says, the enemy has no claim on me. So basically that means there is nothing in common. Jesus Christ has nothing in common with Satan. He has nothing. They are absolutely polar opposites. All light and all dark, even though part of that darkness is a fake light, but they are polar opposites. So to have nothing in me or nothing in common with me means he has nothing. Satan has nothing in common with Jesus Christ. Nothing in common or nothing in him. If Jesus Christ had believed one lie at one point, and especially if he had internalized it, Satan would have something in common with him, because he would have the lie in common with Jesus Christ. Satan could say, I have that in common with you. You believe that lie, that's my territory. I'm going to mess with you there. See, he has no claim on me. Have you ever been to the laundromat or the dry cleaners or somewhere, and you had to have a ticket, or you got your jewelry repaired, or you got your car repaired at the shop, and you had to have a ticket to show them so that they would know which car to get or which outfit to get that you had dry cleaned? Well, that ticket is like a claim. When you have a ticket to get that item, you give them the ticket and you're saying, that's mine, I want it. And so this word claim, is kind of like he has no ticket to claim a place inside me. He has nothing that he can say that's mine inside of me. And he has no hold on me. This alludes to what? Slavery, doesn't it? Slavery, some type of bondage. Some type of noose or chain or rope or slave collar where he can jerk you around. It's a hold he has on you because you have given him territory within yourself, whether you knew it or not. And then a lot of times these come down generationally, so you didn't choose to do it. Your relatives chose to do it. But usually at some point, with most of the lies, we have given the enemy the territory and we didn't even mean to do it, and we didn't even know we were doing it. See? So he has no hold on me, Jesus says. And then the similar meaning to all those is he has no power over me. Why does it say no power over me? Because wherever he has a claim on you, he has a hold on you. And wherever he has a hold on you, he has power over you. See, if he has the noose around your neck or the slave collar, he can jerk you around like cruel dog masters do to their dogs. They're rough and rude with them, and they're abusive. So do you starting to see what this John 14:30 is meaning? Jesus Christ had nothing in common with the enemy, but we do. We have believed lies. We have internalized lies. We believe lies today from the things and wounds in our past and from things we're struggling with. So this is how and why Satan can mess with you in that area because he owns that lie. He's the father of it. He originated it. It came from him. The lie came from him, and that's how he owns it, because it's his lie. See, he's the father of that lie. And so when we're looking at the cracks in our armor, we want to be mindful that the most dangerous, I would say, lies that we believe are lies that go to our worth or our identity. I've talked about this in other videos a long time ago, but anyway, the foundational lies are the ones that can knock out the foundation. I guess that's what I'm saying, is that those are the most dangerous because they have to do with our worth, our being, apart from anything we do ever. Just if we just were born and existed and lay there and did nothing our whole lives and then we died, what would our worth be? If you think our worth would be nothing in that, then you may be a taskmaster or a doer instead of a beer. But your worth has nothing to do with what you do. See, your worth comes about from your birth and from the fact that we are created in the image of God. We're created in the image of God, and Satan hates that. And he wants us to think that we are not created in the image of God and that he is above us. And that is a lie. He is below us because we were created in God's image. He was not. Maybe he heard some rumors that God was going to create some creatures in his image, and that got him so ticked off. Maybe that's why the whole thing, rebellion, happened. But anyway, so foundational lies would also include, besides your worth as a being created in God's image, your identity. Who am I? Who am I? Okay? So that's important to look at those foundational lies. Remember how Jesus said, those who build their house on the rock will not be washed away when the storm comes and all that. Well, these are a type of a foundation for your being. And that's why the enemy goes for those, because he can make you less effective with those lies. Okay, the next thing we want to look at is emotions. Emotions are basically lie detectors. They can be. Whenever you all of a sudden feel a really strong emotion, most times, 9 times out of 10, it will be because of a lie that you are believing. Now, emotions, you can just say in a general scale, can go from 0, having no emotions, to 10, having explosive emotions. And then you can go up higher to 12, 20, 100. But the range when you're feeling an emotion, if you're feeling the emotion from 0 up to, say, 5-ish, that's a reaction or a response that you're having due to your circumstances and what's happening around you. And that's probably all it is. However, if your emotions tip on the Richter scale above a 5, at a 6, 7, 8, or 9, this range, or especially above that, that is indicative of not just the circumstances that you're reacting to, but there is a lie that you are believing from your past that you internalized a long time ago. You're believing that about the circumstance. So the circumstance is kind of like the fire, and then the lie you believe is like throwing gasoline on the fire. So you can get really upset and you just think, why do I get so upset when that happens? I'm not in danger. I'm not, no one's going to harm me. And I'm overreacting. Well, it's because you're believing a lie from your past. And I wanted to share an old example of mine. Where is it? On the kindergarten school van. I was terrorized for a whole year by these 2 older boys. I summoned up all the courage I could to ask for help 3 times from different authority figures. Unfortunately, none of the adults I reached out to responded or helped me. And back then, when you were bullied, you just had to deal with it. No one would help you. In fact, looking back on it, they blatantly dismissed me. That was the first of many times I experienced being bullied as a youth. In my 5-year-old mind, during that year of trauma, I fell far away from people, very far away, and people fell far away from me. A deep cavern of non-reality formed in my mind. And this is a defense mechanism of not wanting to be where you are. And I didn't dissociate, but I did a little bit. Can you tell? At that time, I concluded firmly in my little subconscious mind that the definition of my existence was helplessness, powerlessness, and worthlessness. I wondered when I was a little girl, why am I here? When I was 6 years old, why am I here? I didn't know. I had to know. And when I was 7, this happened when I was 5, but eventually when I was 6 or 7, I concluded, I think I was 6, almost turning 7 that spring, I concluded that I was here to suffer. And that made sense to me. That made everything make sense. So I said, okay, that's why I'm here. I'm here to suffer. That was the lie I believed. But little did I know at that time that those lies would affect me for the next 40 years. So the enemy uses our circumstances that we go through to insert lies like those at a tender age when we have not yet developed any defenses, or when the lie just seems to make sense, like it did to me. Yeah, I'm here to suffer. That makes my whole life. It makes perfect sense. So the conclusive lie makes sense in the circumstance, so we agree with it. Yeah, that makes sense. And we do this because our little minds are always trying to figure things out. They make childish conclusions about circumstances to make sense of them. We come to a conclusion like when parents get divorced, the child says, oh, it must be because of me. I wasn't good enough, or whatever. So over time, though, the lie nestles in and it hides deep inside our souls. So lies we internalize at a very young age do still operate within us as adults without our even being aware of it. In fact, lies remain fully operative in the soul until they are extracted. They will remain fully operative. And again, these lies are the cracks in our armor. So the most efficient way to heal from these lies is obviously to expose them, right? And you replace them with God's truth. So as believers, of course, we want nothing in common with the enemy, but we all have areas in common with him in the lies that we believe. We can't help it. In those exact places, he will dominate us until the lies are removed. Now, no one can extract these lies from our soul without our permission, not even the Lord. He's a gentleman and he respects. If people don't want to come to him or people don't want to get healing, he's like, okay, you want to be miserable the rest of your life, you can do that. He's a gentleman and he gives us free will. So we must voluntarily choose extraction. So we must ask him to expose the lie and replace it with his truth. So ask the Lord to expose the lies you believe. Ask him, and he will start to do it. Watch what happens after you pray that prayer. You will learn to be aware of your circumstances and your behavior like never before. For it is through circumstances and behavior that the Lord exposes the lies. That's how he does it. And like I said before, becoming overly upset or overreacting to something is evidence of a lie. Okay? So pay attention to strong emotions or a sudden change of countenance. All of a sudden I just felt crushed or sad or all alone or rejected or out of control or whatever. If it's all of a sudden change of countenance, things were fine and then all of a sudden it's like something just happened and you don't know, can't explain it. That is indicative of a lie being present that you're believing at that moment, because lies can change the condition of your soul and your emotions immediately. So when you're alone, unpack the situation. You focus on the emotion you felt, and a memory will naturally surface. This is how God designed the brain. When you think of something, a feeling that you have, a memory is there attached to it in the brain, the wiring of the brain. And so that memory, when you focus on that emotion, that old memory from your childhood will naturally surface. Ask the Lord, where in the memory did you internalize the lie while feeling that emotion? Now, when you ask him this, the lie you internalize will relate to two things. It will relate to either your identity, example of lies that relate to identity. I'm powerless, like mine. I am worthless, and I am, helpless. I'm powerless. I'm unlovable. So I keep sabotaging myself in my marriage because I won't let my wife or my husband love me because I believe I'm unlovable. Or I'm powerless, I'm unlovable, I'm defective. There's something wrong with me. So it will relate to identity or the condition that you were in the memory. The next type of lie that you can recognize is a lie of your condition in the memory. There'll be a condition that you were in the memory, and the lie can relate to that. I am dirty. I'm trapped. I'm out of control. Those are the types of lies that will be planted in your memory. So you speak out the lie that you believed when the Lord shows it to you, and you ask the Lord what he thinks about it. Lord, what do you think about this belief? I'm lifting up this belief to you. It's a lie, and I want to know what you think about it. What's your response, and what do you want me to do with this, and what do you want to do with it? Also beware of any lies that block you from going back to these places. Those are absolutely the enemy. Okay? They're lies that block. You can call them blockage lies. So if you've ever had these thoughts, this is definitely the devil. If I remember that, I will die. Or if I remember that, I will never recover. Or if I remember that, I'll start crying and I'll never be able to stop. It will be too much for me. I can't handle it. See, those are all lies. So just be aware of that. Remembering something cannot kill you. That is absolutely untrue. So that belief and that lie serves to barricade you from the memory, which will keep you from exposing and healing the foundational lie, which is keeping you bound. So that's a no-brainer. But the Lord sees all of this, and he desires to set you free. He will bring light into your darkness, and when he does, that lie will be healed forever. Forever. It will be healed. So this is the power of Jesus Christ. Take action to heal your wounds. Open up, be brave, and be aware. And the Lord desires to heal the cracks in your armor. He wants to. So will you let him? Will you let him heal the cracks in your armor? And then the enemy will have less and less places to get in there and mess with you. All right? So I hope this is helpful for y'all. Wherever the enemy has a place in common with us, he will mess with us. This marker is totally dry. Anyway, this area is the key right here. John 14:30. What does the enemy have in you? What claim does he have on you? Where does he have a hold on you? And where does he have power over you? That's where you can go dig for the lies. And the Lord will show you, and you can be set free, okay? So my prayer is that you would realize and believe that there are cracks in your armor. And secondly, that you would be open to retrieving and exposing and extracting these lies. And that you would be, thirdly, open with the Lord about these lies so that he could help you. Because he's the only one, when you give him permission, that he can and will replace that lie with truth, and that issue will be healed forever. Okay, I'm living proof of this. I have done it many times, and my ministry friend has done it too. We've done it on each other, and it really works. And we've both done it individually with the Lord. Okay, so you guys leave comments, and you guys have a blessed week.